Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and this week we have Card Clash Evolution at its finest, but also some new, weird stuff. DHGames have added X Awakens, a tier above S tier. Not that any of us had many S tiers or any S tiers. Anyway, this is going to be something for very, very exclusive spenders, and it's quite a clever trick from DHGames because it's how to milk the spenders dry. And I don't mean normal spenders, not like you or I mean the crazy whales with more money than common sense. And you know what? This isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I'll tell you why a little bit later on. Now, before I do, if you need help with your Idle Heroes account, you should go ahead and check us out on a Tuesday where we do account reviews through our Discord server and Twitch. Twitch.tv/MKxJUMP or discord.gg/MKxJUMP is the place to go. You can find links in the description down below. But if you want to access our account reviews for that one-to-one advice, you do need to be either a long-term viewer on Twitch, or you can jump the queue by backing me on Patreon. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click the top corner of the screen and go ahead and get access to account reviews, and hopefully I will see you this Tuesday. Or perhaps a different Tuesday, depends when you're free. Either way, with all that said, hopefully I'll see you for a one-to-one, but more importantly, let's go and check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. Now, every day for logging in, you folks are going to get yourself 7 enchanted cards. This is because this week we have Card Clash Evolution. Make sure you log in every day and you'll get all 49 enchanted cards across the week. Especially important if you're a free-to-play player, because these enchanted cards are going to get you some pretty funky prizes. I always get asked, what should I get if I'm a new player who's free-to-play or an older player free-to-play? So we'll break all that down for you in a second. First of all, there's a Soul Awakening session. This is basically a way that people can compete on this leaderboard here, do as many awakens as they feel led, getting points like you normally would depending on the level of the awaken of a hero, and the people that place in the top 100 will all get themselves an A- stone or higher, going all the way up to a triple S for the person in first place. Now, what DHGames have added to put some extra fire in the furnace of awakens is this here. The Soul Perfection we already knew about. It's a way you can enhance awakened heroes. You can go and improve their awakening status, getting them better stats, and that requires you to put in heroes of a certain type. However, what you can do if you are, lucky enough to have a triple S hero is break the limit on that hero once it's maxed its stats, and this is where you will get yourself an X hero. Now, X heroes get some unique abilities such as buffs when they take damage, as well as some other cool things, all from bonus stats. But that's probably not something you're ever going to have to worry about, because X heroes are going to be extremely rare, because upgrading a hero from triple S is going to require multiple A tiers and potentially even S tiers to get to that level. So it's just ridiculously out of reach for the majority of players. But if you are curious, the stats on an X tier are over 9,901 all the way up to 11,900, and it will just make them more powerful. It will get them access to more soulbound stuff. It's basically another power creep thing to just get spenders spending more money, and it's quite a smart way of making the game accessible for free-to-play players and people like that, because as long as really top-end spenders keep fueling the devs' paychecks, then we get to play this game for free, and they'll keep updating it. So I'm not actually against this. I think this update is completely fine, because it's basically idiot tax, and people that really want to have top-end heroes can even get rewarded for improving their soul merging progress, and actually get better bonuses for doing so this week, along with puppets that actually have awakened tiers built into them, and therefore can be used as part of this merging process. Merging has famously been really, really bad value and not a great way to optimize your heroes and take them into A tier or S tier or whatever it is you're doing. But considering the rarity of certain heroes on the auction house, I can understand why some people would do it. But the cost to benefit just isn't that great. Perhaps with the enhancement that's coming this week, as you can see here, you'll see people pushing for it more though, and uniquely C-, C's and C+ can be used as well. And that is a little bit worrying, because it means the auction house could see a massive buyout, and that's something to watch out for. If we start seeing C- and C's and C+ all getting bought by the high-end players, then you may find that that's going to be a problem if you were looking to buy them yourself, to then convert your story gems into contract story gems, a thing I do quite frequently. However, The other side of that is if it does increase the price of C-, Cs, and C+, that's a great thing for free-to-play players because it means that free-to-play players can sell those copies on the auction house for more, getting them more starry gems, which will make it easier for people to buy A tiers. The other added bonus of this is whales are likely to want to awaken more often, which will of course make these galas more competitive because S tiers become even more important for the whales. And if big juicy spenders are going to go awakening a lot of heroes, that will potentially flood the market with more heroes for other people. A kind of trickle-down economics effect, if you will. The only issue to that is if they all just hoard all their heroes anyway and destroy them all and feed them into stuff, that could be an issue. But if they are selling the stuff they get, then that could be quite beneficial. And you'll likely even see some really interesting A tiers popping up for quite nice prices. Perhaps not a Karim or a Sleepless or something like that, but actually you might be glad to see, let's say, someone like a Mokban or an Aspen or even Vulcan or Wukong. Whatever A tier it is you're chasing, hopefully the prices drop. They might not, it's just speculative at this point, but it would be cool if they do. Anyway, Card Clash of Illusion is the main part of this week's event, so let's start with the value packs. These give you gems and enchanted cards. No train tickets being given here, unfortunately. I do like it when train tickets are given. I do think it's one of the best things that free-to-play players can spend their contract starry gems on are value packs that give you train tickets, and of course additional bonuses as well whilst you're at it. This week's event, unfortunately, is just giving enchanted cards. That's very normal for a Card Clash event, and it will be something that you want to pick up if you plan on further progressing in this week's event, especially if you're going to be spending. However, if you're not planning on spending, then personally I would avoid going ahead and picking these up with your contract starry gems. Card Clash of Illusion is one place where you are going to get nice rewards though. So you do get 49 enchanted tickets. You can buy an additional 60 with gems, which you will probably want to be doing, and that will take you up to 109. You might not need all of them, so buy them with gems on Thursday. And you will find that you can get yourself to hopefully stage 5 by doing that, which will get you the glorious treasury coin. So only buy the ones with gems you need to clear stage 5. This glorious treasury coin can then be used in the glorious treasury to buy anything from treasury 1. Some good stuff here. Stellar shards is always good. I wouldn't go with crystals of transcendence because stellar shards are just objectively better in most cases. If you are new, you might be thinking about getting yourself some master's toolboxes to improve your celestial island, or more importantly, if you're super new, you might want to be getting void egg selection chests so that you can get yourself a somber egg and open it once you get yourself an E5. Your first egg you open gets you a star spawn, and the somber egg gets you the best star spawns. So getting these is really nice. And some people are even opting in now to get these chests because you get 75 of them because you get 5 times 15. And just having these opening constantly, it's like 2.5 months worth of eggs. So just picking this up when Card Clash of Illusion comes every now and then, just so you've always got an egg getting hatched, is quite a good thing to do in the Gate of the Void. So head to the Galactic Tree, get your eggs awakening, and you might find you can get some nice bonuses for your star spawns. The other option is this chest here, the Deluxe Resource Chest. This is typically not great. It gives stuff like guild coins if you need them, or hero promotion stones, but it's much better to go with the other rewards here, as in my personal opinion, I think they are just far more beneficial for the majority of accounts. Another option available to you is to spend the rest of your gems on all the remaining cards, and then spend contract starry gems as well to get even more. The goal here would be to clear stage 7. This is going to get you some stellar shards and 5 cores of transcendence, but more importantly, you get 5 additional glorious treasury coins. The main reason I would find myself doing this would be because I wanted to get an artifact. Newer players will definitely be wanting to hunt things like melodic strings or elusive mirror for a Betty, if that's a hero they're looking to build. And also there is stuff like Ruyi Scepter here as well. These 3 artifacts are phenomenal and very important for the majority of accounts. Some people might want Golden Crown. There's the option of Snowheart for those of you later on in the game who are trying to fight things where Snowheart might come in handy. Even Auspicious Lucky Cat here is available, and Scissors for those of you that care about Star Expedition. So with all of these different items available here, you might want to go ahead and spend a little bit of contract starry gems, but make sure again you do that at the end of this week's event so that you're not wasting any contract starry gems buying cards you don't need, because do remember you are getting 7 every day for logging in. One nice way to get contract starry gems this week is actually from the contractual strategy. If you've cleared any progress in the Realms Gate, you will find yourself getting some of these. And hopefully, if you've managed to get to Realms Gate Corruption at level 60, you're able to get all 600 contract starry gems, which is conveniently the exact number you need if you want to go ahead and buy all 60 of the enchanted cards from here. Not necessarily the best thing to do. I personally would, if I was a normal player, just go ahead and save all those contract story gems and just worry about getting to stage 5. But if you did need artifacts, using some of those is okay, as getting to stage 7 is still decent and artifacts are great. You should still walk away with a net positive number of contract story gems. So all in all, this is a fantastic addition, giving everyone access to more items. And these contract story gems can be used potentially in future events to get even more rewards. So make sure you subscribe, because I review these events every Friday and give you the optimal ways to spend your contract story gems for maximum rewards. So subscribe to catch those future uploads when they come out. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with the card clash, you'd use the enchanted cards to draw out hero copies. You're ideally looking for heroes that match the faction of the boss, and when you get 3 of them, you'll get a buff as well. The buff we managed to get here is to turn a hero into a dark hero, so we can make that hero, the light one there, into dark, and dark gets a better bonus when fighting this boss. So that team there looks pretty good. You'll want to combine the cards and the bonuses as well as you can to try and get some really, really powerful teams, ideally putting everything into one team to make it as strong as possible, to then clear the boss in as few cards as possible. And if you're optimal, you might find yourself making some really good progress without having to spend too many gems or contract story gems. There's also the challenge stage where you have to fight this boss here that's weak to dark, light, and transcendent, and you'll progressively get more and more heroes as you make more progress in the normal stage. And the person that gets the most points will find themselves here at the top of the illusion leaderboard, and everyone should be getting gems provided you fight the challenge stage. And the top 50 even get themselves a copy of the special avatar for Sherlock, which has the Ace of Hearts on. Looks pretty cool. We also have the Awakening Privileges, and this is the normal way of getting yourself rewards with Awakens. Now, typically I don't like this, as I don't find the rewards it gives very beneficial, and sometimes I do like to push to here though, just to get myself a Demon Bell, as Demon Bell is a rarer artifact. However, given the fact that there are Awakening events for Transcendence heroes that are 60 points and get you an artifact, I'm actually steering away from this as an optimal thing for most people. In fact, I think you're better just saving your contract story gems to push big events to get you deific artifacts and treasure train tickets. As this gives neither of those things, I just don't find it too tempting. Then again, you might like the fact you can get yourself Essence Sublimation from here, and at 300 points, that's also the case as well, a Core of Origin chest if you wanted to get that instead. However, I think pushing to 300 points is very, very expensive. It costs you about 3,500 contract story gems net, 50 awakens, but then of course you can destroy those to get more back. I don't think it's the best move for budget or free-to-play players, or in fact anyone, to be honest. Contract story gems are just so more optimally used for value packs when good value events come along. So I really don't find myself pushing in these Awaken areas all too much. Of course, that's going to be different if you want to push the Soul Awakening session. However, I think even with a B-Stone here, it's locked. You might think, ooh, MK, I can get to 200 points here. Let me do the Awakening Privileges. Please, please, please. You can if you want to, but I don't think a locked B-Stone is going to be enough to tempt me to think that this is good value. If you do want to get to the 200, I think just pushing to 300 is best, because you do still get the Essence Sublimation chest. But there's easier ways to get sublimation and far better value ways to get them from huge events. So personally, save your contract story gems, don't push this, and just wait for big events in the future where you can combine resources like Prophet Orbs or Heroic Summons or Wishing Coins with your contract story gems, and you walk away with massive rewards, as well as the opportunity to pick up things like deific artifacts, destiny resources, and most importantly, treasure train tickets. Pushing deeper, we have the Starlight Melody. This is going to get you points for using your enchanted cards. You can get 3 points for using one of those, or you get 7 points for awakening a hero. You're looking to just get as many points as you can this week by taking the previous strategies I've talked about. I'll mention more strategies as well to get lots of points, but ultimately you will get yourself a number of chests depending on the amount of times you reach its milestone. So the 100 chest you'll get every time you get 100 points. This is going to give you Stellar Shards, Master's Toolboxes, Spiritual Essence, and a chest that contains potential Transcendence heroes. 200 is the same, but with a different selection of Transcendences, and the same goes for 300 as well. So you want to pick up these so you can get yourself Master's Toolboxes, Spiritual Essence, and Stellar Shards, 3 really important resources for making progress. 400 just has a different chest in here that contains Melissa and some other friends, and if you want to get to 1,500, that's where the big stuff drops. That's 10 Glorious Treasury coins. Now, 1,500 is traditionally the highest you can make it in here, but if you push here in the Moonlight gift, every $100 you spend is going to get you a ×2 multiplier, which goes from ×2 to ×4 to ×6 at $300. You also get some other bonuses thrown in here as well, including 50 cards for 100, another 50 for 200. There's an artifact chest in there too, and a deific chest if you get to 300, alongside some Prism Starry gems. The main thing with this is that it is going to get you access to more points than just 1,500. It's going to multiply that to as much as 9,000. Now, 9,000 points is going to get you this 6,000 chest once. This contains some more of the festival treasures, which can improve your treasure train. These are the ones exclusively from 2025, so not a really big selection here. Just pick the one you feel like is going to give you the best benefit. But it is going to get you this 3,000 chest 3 times. That's 3 deific origin chests or normal artifact chests if you're after something like Demon Bell or Antler's Cane, as they are not available in the Glorious Treasury. You also on top of this get orange chests and pink chests, which are really nice for enhancing your treasure train, not to mention all of the spiritual essence and stellar shards here, which are really helpful for if you're pushing Destiny Heroes. The other main thing by going ahead and buying all the way up to $300 is you're going to get this 1,500 thing 6 times. That's 60 Glorious Treasury coins. So what you can do there, if you're a spender who wants to spend $300, is combine that with the 100 enchanted tickets here and the ones you're going to be picking up in the card Clash of Illusion, and suddenly we're getting hundreds and hundreds of those. The main goal is to spend 500 cards, so you will have to go ahead and buy some using some combination of Contract Story gem packs here and value packages, and by getting as high as you possibly can, goal would be to get to that 1,500 point mark in the Starlight Melody, as getting 60 from here plus the 80 of the total number of Glorious Treasury coins that you can pick up in the card clash by getting for stage 20, you'll be able to get yourself 140 of the Glorious Treasury coins, which means you can pick up some really nice stuff. So Treasury 3 unlocks once you've spent 10, so that's going to get you some sublimation if you need that to get your heroes ready. Maybe you're going to need some Core of Origin shards so that you can get noble cores if you're going to be pushing for Destiny. Once you've spent 40 treasury coins, you get yourself access to deific artifacts, or if you're a bit later on, you might be hunting for Destiny here, and the Destiny stuff can also be really helpful for reaching Nirvana on your Destiny heroes. And then finally, of course, Treasury 6, this has access to Star Souls, which will allow you to improve even further your heroes once they reach that max Destiny tier of Nirvana. Some really good pickups here, for example, are the Inquiring Mind, as this does give the best bonuses. So if you can and you want to, you can go ahead and spend $300 here to get yourself access to Star Souls, along with all the other amazing resources, such as Spiritual Essence, Stellar Shards, and all the other crazy stuff that gets thrown in here, like those Destiny materials and sublimation. This is a really good event because it offers loads of good rewards, artifacts, deific stuff, just everything a whale may need. So if you're a newer, big spender looking to make good progress and get lots of really helpful resources that are going to be beneficial for you in your whole time of playing Idle Heroes, then this is a really solid event to go in on. Also about this event is it doesn't require you to have saved any heroic summon scrolls or prophet orbs to get big value from. The only downside is you aren't getting treasure train tickets when you push the value packs here with your contract story gems, which is recommended. You are going to have to get to about 500 enchanted cards here to maximize your progress. And yeah, you might even find yourself having to buy both of these top packages here for $200 for both of them. Another option people like to do is to actually not push as far as they can with enchanted cards and instead buy both of these Flora's Picnic packages, as these do give contract story gems which you can then use to aid Awakens. So that the Starlight Melody, actually you can just achieve the last few of your points by going ahead and buying this. If you were going to follow that route, you'd be looking to buy both Flora's Picnic packages and then getting yourself the $100 value pack up here as well, and then just ironing things out with Awakens as is necessary. So that's another way that you can go ahead and spend $300. Some of you might be tempted to only spend $200. I can see that argument if you weren't interested in Star Souls. For the majority of people who are going to plan on spending big this event anyway, I think you are actually best served spending $300, as it is better value for money when it comes to picking up multiple Star Souls. That said, though, perhaps it's just better that you spend $130 during relay events, and that's probably the most efficient way to spend money exclusively for Star Souls. But as I am constantly reminded whenever I say that, people do love to stress that actually one of the big things here is the Starlight Melody giving you all that Spiritual Essence, as Spiritual Essence does eventually become a bottleneck for players who are looking to push Destiny Heroes, because you do need to reach Tree of Origin level 120. All in all, this event is perfectly fun. It's quite a nice way for spenders to get lots of resources, or just for free-to-play players to pick up contract story gems. And depending on how you want to approach this, you can either walk away with some tier 1 rewards like this, or an artifact if you get to stage 7. Next week's event is going to be Imp's Adventure, Extra Drop Carnival, and Shelter Mission, offering Seer, Betty, Freya, Gaggy, Aspen, and Vulcan as rewards. So more on that next week. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that event. Good luck with everything this week. Do not worry about X tier heroes, and just approach this like you would any old card Clash of Illusion event. If you are fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to face an X tier hero, be rest assured that the person who achieved that hero had to spend a lot of money to get it, and quite frankly, it's not going to offer them too much of a bonus. That said, though, there are quite some cool benefits that X's have if you are able to roll the bonus stats that give them some cool benefits. For example, as I said, if they take damage, there is one that the more damage they take, the more damage reduction and all damage dealt they gain. There's another ability in there too, which basically makes them immune to damage potentially if they take too much damage and their max HP drops below a certain point. So some quite cool abilities that you're able to get on X heroes, but ultimately I still think Giant Killer is the main thing. I think A tiers is more than fine for the majority of people, and X tiers just exist to get whales really excited and spending money, which, as it naturally will keep the devs investing in this game and keep Idle Heroes alive and fun for all of us players at home. Let me know what you think about these new heroes. Let me know what you think about this event, and of course, whatever else you need help with in your Idle Heroes journey, pop that all in the comments section down below. If you want to join us for account reviews, of course, that is on a Tuesday. Subscribe for more event reviews like this one, and as always, have an amazing week and happy idling.